All right, man. Let's see if I still got this. Haven't done this in a while. Nice. How do I not know the name of this
right
map?
Where we spawn, there should be a next to a calendar. Next to the calendar, it's
Mission begins in 10 seconds.
What's next to the calendar?
see it right here.
What is?
3, 2, 1.
What is? You didn't tell me. I feel like playing Huntsman Sniper, for me, just always feels like I'm playing a scratch off lottery tickets. Like I'm just like running it down, just throwing trash into the distance. Not really trying to be accurate. I'm really just more or less trying to like land a hit and just get like the stupidest timing on something right. Like that right there. I just got one. I didn't get the kill, but definitely was contributing to that. And there we go. There's another one. I don't really have like a science to it. I don't know. I don't really think there is a direct science to it because TF2 as a game is just so. It's just so. Vote to immediately kick him. No, it's just so like dynamic and just so multifaceted in terms of what's going on. Honestly, I know this might sound crazy. I know this might be an outrageous take with Team Fortress 2 to have, especially in the year 2025. But as time's gone on, the games I think back to when I kind of remember the time, remember like what it was like when Team Fortress 2 was around, because it's really not fair to criticize Team Fortress 2 100% of the time. It's really not fair to look at the game specifically, the mechanical aspects and the minutia of the game with today's lens. And I was actually playing like Battlefield Bad Company, like the original one, the one on the Xbox 360, and just playing the campaign of that and everything. And I mean, that was just such an interesting time where a lot of technological advances were being made. And with that being said, like, you know, Team Fortress 2, I think at the time was a response to games like Battlefield Bad Company, like, you know, like the Battlefields or like the Call of Duties or, you know, the like the games of that era, what was popular at that time. You know, Counter-Strike was obviously popular as well, but they were really more or less trying to get the, I don't know how you would hit that if I'm being honest with you. That heavy just stood completely still. They were trying to capture that audience that existed for a large-scale multiplayer experience, but they clearly didn't want to take the direction that everyone else was taking. They didn't want to take the direction of, like, you know, the entire industry. And that's kind of what's so interesting about Valve as a company and with their games that they make as a whole. And I've definitely been thinking about it a lot. I've definitely been thinking about this a lot lately with Deadlock finally coming out. But it's also just fun to think about also what was going on at the time of a game like Team Fortress 2 also coming out and what the space of that looked like. Because it is interesting. Every once in a while, I will go back and play like a game, like an older game that I either didn't play like when I was a kid at that time, or when I had the, you know, the ability to get video games like that, or I'll go back to games I've played like 100 times already. Right, I'll just pop it in, see what it's like, see what's going on, and everything. And it is interesting too to see where everyone ended up at. You know what I mean? If they were doing like a big high school reunion, it is kind of weird how Team Fortress 2 is the only game in this series that never got a facelift, never died. It's just like, for some reason, it's just still part of that generation. And I think that kind of speaks to a little bit of what, you know, the overall future philosophy is for Valve games and everything, and what Valve kind of approaches like the mechanical business part of their video games as well. I think one thing I would like to be very curious to do very soon also is to play like some of the older games that Valve made. The ones that never really went anywhere, like the Alien Swarm or Ricochet. Oh shit! No. But it's just interesting how I guess Team Fortress 2 has just become this like timeless classic, and that doesn't get enough credit at times. At least in my own mind, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't really see it talked about as much as it should be, I guess. And it's just a very refreshing experience to hop back into. And another thing too, what's nice about it is that it's an experience that I can hop back into. I mean, you can't play the online servers of Battlefield or Bad Company 1 or Battlefield Bad Company 2, for that matter. I mean, they're pushing out the 6th one, which is not the 6th one, but I can't believe that heavy didn't get away. That was like a really creepy pasta looking heavy, by the way. Yep. And yeah, I don't know. I've just been, as I've been playing this game more and more, the more and more I'm kind of like having these thoughts and kind of seeing that, and also especially with Deadlock as well. Ugh! I mean, Deadlock is, and it's kind of fun to see it from the ground up. It's kind of going to be interesting to see how the overall history of Deadlock as a game will pan out. And I was actually watching a little bit of the stream that XQC did. And first off, I'm not a big fan of XQC. I don't watch YouTube streams or any stream, anything. It was a recording also of XQC playing Deadlock, but he was fairly. It felt as if he didn't enjoy the game, and my thoughts on that range from the fact that he's not understanding the pacing of the game, or also what type of a game he's playing. The other part of me is also just that I'm not really a big fan of watching this individual play a video game. It's very stress-inducing. I don't know why. Watching XQC play Deadlock was just so like stress-inducing because of how frustrated we could get. But I think his opinion on the subject is still fairly valid. Like, you know, it's interesting and it's important to hear what his opinion is on the game. And I think his criticism. Ultimately, his criticism, I do have to agree with Deadlock, and that's just the type of game that it is. I don't think it's a good and a bad thing, but it's just, I guess it's part of any game. I mean, like you're gonna have a population of people that are just not interested in playing your game because of the type of game or the type of gaming it promotes and pushes. And I imagine that, you know, after watching his stream and everything, I imagine that that's how he felt while playing overall, and that's a valid point to have. That's a valid criticism, and that is one of the few things that I really worry about with Deadlock specifically, is because in this day and age, I don't know. It's interesting how Valve tends to take their core game design approach and seems to somehow, at first, arguably alienate it, like to the nth degree, but overall, you know, historically has come out on top with that. Thank you, Sentry. Thank you so much. Arigato. I can't. You didn't heal me. Never mind. Fuck you, Sentry. Piece of shit. I guess that's kind of what Deadlock's gonna have to go through. It's gonna have to have that experience, and it's kind of getting the training wheels put on very early with the whole early access aspect to it. Like, this is definitely a case to be made where this is probably the most accessibly early version of a Valve game, Jesus Christ, that you'd ever expect. And it's interesting to go through, but it's going to be interesting how it ultimately all pans out. I feel that there are going to be parts of that game that might even evolve. I honestly, part of me, as of right now, wonders if the core game that Deadlock promotes, the MOBA aspect of it, will actually remain as popular as it does when the game comes out. I've heard rumblings of, like, you know, the like potentially like the other updates in the near future might include other game modes and everything, but hold on, but you need another card. But at the same time, though, like it's like Fortnite. You know, you have to think about, this is a game that is now existing in the lens of a modern day gaming ecosystem, and that's changed so much over time. And Fortnite's a great example of what I'm kind of interested in seeing how it pans out in the long run, or interested in seeing how it pans out. Awesome. Yep, I deserve that one. And it's interesting how it pans out. Interesting to see how it pans out in the long run, and also interesting to see how it's evolved. But I mean, the core game that Fortnite is not the most popular core game that exists now, you know? And arguably too, you could make the same case for Team Fortress 2. You could make the same case that the most popular way to consistently bring and keep people in this game is doing what Valve has currently done with this one. So I don't know. It will time prove to be a flat circle again, or, you know, just kind of like a big loop-de-loop with Deadlock, with hope potentially even with where TF2's at the moment as well. just getting back to TF2 quote mainly. I don't want to make this entire video about Deadlock, but I'm just trying to give you more of a frame of reference of where my mind's coming from and what I'm thinking. But with with locking in with like going back to the current gaming landscape. I mean, it's so different. It's so vastly different. And appealing to the widest possible audience early on is so crucial to a game's longevity and success. And at the same time, like, I want Deadlock to do well, but it's not super crucial to me that a video game has a maximum long lifespan and longevity. I think it's important to realize as the average adult, as the average individual, you have to kind of, in this current stage also of where we are in capitalism and gaming and everything, you have to understand that this is just how multiplayer games will have to exist. I mean, the model used to be that you bought a multiplayer game and you got to play with bots and you got to play with forever on this until the game just died out and it wasn't supported, and the game when it came out was just as is, and that model just did not work in the long run. That model just doesn't seem to pan out in the long run. Until a company like Valve, until companies like EA, like Nintendo, like Xbox, all figured out that like this is essentially the model that works. And ultimately, the model fails when people just aren't playing anymore and aren't giving us enough money to support it. And to miss out on that experience, though, as a gamer, or to discredit that experience and be so hypercritical of it, I find at times can be a little, I don't know, just a little misguided and a little rude and brash at times. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, I guess. I don't know. I'm just kind of trying a new style with these kinds of videos and everything. And TF2 is definitely a big creative outlet that has made me kind of get more into and more comfortable with doing creative stuff like this. And that's one thing I really enjoyed about this game. I cannot believe that wasn't a crit. Boom. 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 You got to dance on him. And I guess I do worry and I do kind of think about how the current digital landscape that exists nowadays, where everything's so documented, everything is so shared and blasted out, and how the audience around that also tends to operate. It's just interesting to go through, I guess. It's just an interesting part of the human experience that I didn't think was really something that was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jesus. I did get him too. There's no way. Oh man, I apologize if this video is getting way off track here. Where was I even at? What was I even talking about just now? Yeah, I guess just looking back, just to wrap up my whole thesis, my whole point of this video, I think so far, what I'm really getting at is that you have to remember, it's very crucial to remember that there are people that make these things, and it's great that you're passionate about Team Fortress 2, like a movie, or like movies or film, or Battlefields and Star Wars and Disney and stuff. But it is important though to also make sure that outlet is helping you generate something within your life, helping you get into or push you to a direction that is getting you more skilled or honed in on something, getting you potentially a business, getting you more passionate about a project or a thing that you're doing. If you're this goes for anything, not even just TF2 or making TF2 videos, but if you're passionately into Disney or passionately into Mickey Mouse and High School Musical, I hope that is inspiring you to practice theater or practice writing, practice and develop a passion or an appreciation for something that isn't just so surface level, that isn't so that isn't so consumer mindset orientated first. Oh, I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I just think it is no, it is important though to like at least have that scapegoat or have those pieces of who you are as a person, as an individual, that helps you grow as a person. And it's just important as a person to always be growing as a person. Like it's always crucial that the freaking 4 raccoons in a trench coat.
That just keeps breaking my shit.
No.
Thank you.
Let me mute that guy. No offense, I just don't want anyone interrupting my train of thought. God, where was I just at? I just got so sidetracked. Jesus. Yeah, I guess that's what I don't know. If any of that makes sense, or if any of that, like, is registering, let me know in the comments. Jesus, this raccoon guy. Look at his stupid mustache. I just think that I'm just kind of getting my thoughts out, I guess, in terms of where I'm at in this journey. We hit 300 subscribers, so that's been awesome. This is kind of the video in regards to that, but it's just nothing that I think really what's the most important part of this YouTube thing for me, this little outlet of a project that I'm doing, is that it's really about getting better at something, getting better at getting more comfortable with editing a video, getting more comfortable with like writing a video. And it's important to have goals, but I don't think that the goal is the only thing you should have in mind at times. I think that it's really crucial to also have an understanding of what you appreciate about the thing that you're doing is, and maximizing that as much as possible, and yeah, and just going from there. Man, this is kind of where Huntsman Sniper sucks, because I want to take the Sentry, and it would be so much easier if... dude, I can't believe it would be so much easier if I had a sniper rifle, not a Huntsman. But I can't. I don't know. I'm already in scratch off ticket lottery mode. I've had some crazy scratch off winnings here in this game, so I'm glad we're getting the footage for this. Peek me. I dare you, Heavy. I dare you. Oh, he did a jump. He did do a crazy karate kick jump there. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He wasn't Karate Kid enough.
Mission ends in 30 seconds.
Oh man, these sentries are going to be a real nuisance here. I don't know. There's not much I got here. We gotta go from below, I think. Going from below might be the move here. There's no way. Yep, that's game. Oh! Did not take out that guy. Oh well. You can't win them all. Thanks for watching. Bye.